Ask Me Anything by Redmond Dites. I'm an American living in Russia. Ask me anything. What industry do you work in? Do you enjoy your job? Was the search for the job easy? So sorry for your wife, by the way. I hope she gets well soon. I'm an English teacher. It's definitely not my dream job, but it's pretty easy and it pays well. I'm a private instructor, so I just started posting about myself on social media and students contacted me. Word of mouth is powerful here. Take care of your clients and you'll be taken care of by them. About 80% of my students came to me from referrals of other students. Thank you, I appreciate the kind words. How much equivalent United States dollars do you make there? Are you living like a software engineer would here in the United States? I make about $1,000 a month, depending on the exchange rate. I came from California, so definitely not living like those software engineers. But I have everything I need here. My wants are mostly taken care of as well. How old are you, and how old is your wife? I hope she recovers. As soon as possible I will keep her in my prayers. 35 and 32. Thank you very much, we appreciate it. Are Russians very interested in learning English? What is their typical motivation for doing so? Do you feel socially ostracized at all as an American? Some are, some aren't. English is part of the public school curriculum here, so most people under 49 already speak at least a few basic phrases of English. Western media, TV, film, books, music, etc. are all quite popular here, so most younger people interact with the English language almost daily. Everyone's motivations are different, but for many they see it as a good tool to have. Some want to travel to English-speaking countries, some work for American companies and need to communicate with co-workers in the United States. There are various reasons. So far, in 13 months, I have only had one negative interaction once someone found out I was American. And it really wasn't even that negative, he was just a dumb, and his wife started yelling at him for being rude. Most people here are really cool about it. How is the quality of the medical treatment available in Russia? Do you think you receive better care there than you would in the United States? So my wife is currently going through cancer treatment, so I can definitely answer this. Public healthcare is absolute trash. Doctors and nurses are overworked and underpaid. In public clinics they have patient quotas, so they try to get you in and out ASAP. Private clinics on the other hand, are much better and close to the same quality of care as in the United States, and at a fraction of the price. For my wife's chemo, we will be paying a total of about $7,000. And that will be using the same chemo that is used in the United States, produced in Europe. Is chemo medicine not part of the sanctions? So, some medicines, including chemo, have been impacted by sanctions. Things that we are produced in the USA are quite difficult to find, however the European analogies are all available. My wife's chemo is produced in Slovakia. Most of my prescriptions are produced in Poland. Food and medicine are almost always excluded from sanctions. Yeah, last time sanctions included food and medicine, we called them blockades, and it ended up producing a very angry German man lol. What's the current political climate in Russia regarding the war in Ukraine? If you don't watch the news, it's pretty easy to forget it's happening. Especially if you're in a big city. A vast majority of the people here support their government. A vast majority of the people here also want it to end immediately. It's a pretty widespread feeling here that Russians and Ukrainians are the same people ethnically. This is seen like it's a civil war, brothers killing brothers. Would you think that's because of effective propaganda efforts by the Kremlin or Putin or state, or more out of sight out of mind type mentality? A mix of both. People definitely know what is going on, it just isn't publicized that much. Do average people treat you differently when they find out you're American? Differently, yes. Usually positively. Lots of questions about how I like their country. Some have thanked me for coming and wish me well. Are you thinking about moving stateside with your wife? I would like to. It's pretty difficult to move to the United States legally. And right now my wife is going through cancer treatment, so we believe, at the moment, it is better to stay here. How did you meet your Russian wife? Why didn't she want to move to America? What crazy foods have you started to eat? Why did you quit drinking? We met online through a pretty popular dating site. She did want to move to the United States, but it isn't easy to do legally. Nothing too crazy. I'm not super adventurous with food, but I'll try most things at least once. Caviar isn't too bad. I just don't really enjoy the taste of alcohol, and it's not the fun to get drunk anymore. I'm 35, so it was sort of like I grew out of it. You speak Russian, right? But do people realize your accent? I'm still learning Russian, but I have a pretty light accent. I speak a moderate bit of Polish, so I have the Slavic accent down pretty well. It's my limited vocabulary that gives me away as a foreigner. What do you do in Russia anyways? No judgment, but I wonder what drove you there. Love? A job? Love brought me here. My wife is Russian. We've been together for 6 years. I work as an English teacher here. I make about $12 per hour. It provides a comfortable middle-class life. What's one obscure thing you noticed about Russians, only after living there for a while? They seem to be super active. My mother-in-law is 71. She spends 8 hours a day, plus 3 hours on the bus, in our garden. A 1-acre plot of land, where we grow almost all of our fruit and vegetables. I feel like, women especially, Russians stay active later in life, and thus live longer. It seems like old as 85 plus here. How difficult is it for you to assimilate? I'll never assimilate. I don't think it's really possible for someone who grew up outside of the Slavic culture. I can blend in recently well, and I'm becoming more and more comfortable with life here. This is an interesting answer. Why do you think it's impossible to assimilate if you didn't grow up in a Slavic culture? It's hard to explain. It's very much an in-group kind of thing. They will welcome you and be kind and gracious and good hosts. But you'll always be not Slavic. You won't have had the same experiences and struggles, so you're an outsider. I had a similar experience when I lived in Poland. Were you born in the United States? When and why did you move to Russia? Yep, born and raised in the United States to American parents. My wife is Russian, so I moved here to be with her and her family. Do you ever feel nervous, considering several United States citizens got detained under dubious circumstances? I'm from Russia myself, but still hesitant to return after 2022. I'm afraid the draft will resume sooner or later. I absolutely understand your fears and hope that one day you can safely and comfortably come back to Russia. I'm not too nervous. I'm definitely extra cautious and make sure I follow rules and don't draw attention to myself. So far, I haven't had any interactions with local police in 13 months, only with FSB when crossing the border in and out. Do you enjoy living in Russia? For the most part, yes. The people are mostly great. I'm fortunate enough to be financially secure, so I live a pretty comfortable life here. You met Russian wife via online dating. How many times did you meet her before deciding to move to Russia to marry her? We dated for 5 years before getting married. About half of that long distance.
Привет, вы говорите по-русски. Привет. Очень чут-чут. Жена шутит, что я как собака, многое понимаю из того, что она говорит, но мне сложно ответить.
That's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like videos like this one, why not like and subscribe for more? Have a nice evening.